Hi there. Hey, it's Chris Hamilton here with Sales Tip a Day, www.salestipaday.com. And today I'm going over kind of weeks 3 through 5 of my social selling experiment. And one thing that I am noticing is that just, around the Christmas time, obviously, things back off and people are either not to be found, going to Christmas parties, so on and so forth. So what I did was over kind of the last 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, I've been regrouping and getting myself ready for 2016. So, one of the things that you really need to start looking at is what is it that you're going to do to try to succeed, and obviously what I want to do and try to succeed with the stuff that I'm doing with social selling, my social selling experiments. So, without further ado, what I want to do is kind of go into some of the stuff that I've been kind of doing over the last few weeks, couple of weeks, that are setting me up for for this year. So obviously, as I said, there's not much activity going on right now out in the marketplace due to Christmas parties, people thinking about Christmas, New Year's Eve, everything like that. Now that said, that's a great time for me to regroup, get everything kind of moving in the right direction and doing stuff. So what I've done is part of the process I put together when I started working with this health and safety software company, helping to ramp up their sales, was I had multiple disparate pieces of information that I've now amalgamated into one spreadsheet. And so that spreadsheet's going to act kind of as my um, go forward kind of source of truth, I guess is the best thing. Now there is a couple of smaller spreadsheets that I have to use outside of it, but it's more because of information that I've downloaded from other sources that don't necessarily fit into the process that I have. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. So I've amalgamated everything, kind of put it in one spot. Then ultimately where I'm going to end up going with this is I'm going to start putting it into a CRM system. And the CRM system I'm using for this is going to be Insightly CRM, which is a great little CRM system. I highly recommend anyone take a look at leveraging that. So now the next thing that I looked at was, as I said, I started using some industry lists to go after channel partners. So one of the things that I've been doing is I've been looking at these industry lists. So one of the things that I have is I've got a whole bunch of people that can provide safety audits. And I've gone in and started looking at their names, trying to match them up on LinkedIn and trying to see if I have any second level connections, see if I even have a first level connection, which I have on a couple of them. And then what I'm doing is I'm setting myself up to start approaching these people in the new year. So there's a list that I've got that's roughly about 250 people that I've vetted through over the last couple of weeks on this stuff to go out. Now the other thing is I might just go direct on some of these people depending on the relationships that I have in LinkedIn. If they're not strong, then I've got their email addresses. I will go direct as a one-on-one on that sort of stuff as well. So that's that. The other thing that I found was as I'm going through and I'm prospecting, I'm trying to find people that are within the demographics for this company, is I have a ton of second level connections that are existent. And one of the things that I've done is I've started building out a list of these second level connections and making note of who I know that's connected with these people, so that next year when I start going through and building out my plan on contacting these people, is I'm set up so I know who's connected to these people and how I can reach out to them and kind of when I reach out to them, so on and so forth. One of the other things that I've started working on that kind of ties into this whole approaching people is I'm building out a presentation with one of the owners of the company that talks to how to pass a safety audit. So passing a safety audit is not an easy thing. It takes a bit of time and it can be a costly endeavor if you don't get it right. So what we're going to do is we're going to build out a presentation that shows companies how to pass their safety audit. So this is going to wrap into when I'm approaching these people saying, hey, why don't you come to this webcast or this webinar and we'll show you X things that you need to know to pass your safety audit. So kind of all just a bit of a plan that's wrapped into this stuff as well. And last but not least, what I've noticed when I'm going through and I'm looking at kind of people that play into a safety role or very high up in companies that look after safety is that I have a whole ton of first level connections. So I have almost 3,000 first level connections. I've got a whole ton of first level connections that I really don't have much of a relationship with. And so what I've decided to do is start building out that relationship with these first level connections. So I've started approaching some of these first level connections and saying, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? Anything that I can do to make your life easier? By the way, I also run a monthly social selling um, webcast on LinkedIn that might be of help to you. So, is this sort of things that might be of interest? So basically building and strengthening those first level connections so that I could leverage them to get into these other second level connections and all that stuff. So that's kind of what I've done over the last kind of 2.5, 3 weeks. So that's kind of week 3 through 5 on this. As I say, not a lot of activity. Building out a more defined spreadsheet for prospecting. Um, I'm using industry lists to build out a channel partner strategy, and also checking through LinkedIn on that sort of stuff. Been working on also found a whole ton of second level connections on LinkedIn while I'm doing some prospecting that I'll be attacking and going after in the new year. Been working on an end user presentation more specifically for companies that are doing audits, but eventually I'm also going to do it for our channel partners to show them how they can leverage the software and make an additional lucrative revenue stream that might even be more than some of their audits that they're doing. And then last but not least is, like I say, approaching first level connections, strengthening those relationships so that I can leverage them to get into the second level connections that are on LinkedIn. So that said, you know what? I wish everyone has much success in 2016. And I look forward to keeping you updated and telling you my progress on what's going on with a lot of the stuff that I'm doing on LinkedIn and the social selling experiment that I'm doing with this stuff as well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Chris at salestipaday.com. Go to my website, salestipaday.com, and sign up for my daily sales and marketing tips that come out as well. And also, I do provide a monthly social selling webcast that I do usually towards the beginning of the month. You can find that on my website, or if you want, just reach out to me and I'll point you in the right direction or get you registered for that as well. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Thanks for investing the time. Greatly appreciate it.